The mission of University of Antelope Valley is to provide quality undergraduate, graduate, certificate, and continuing education to our local and global community. The University of Antelope Valley offers higher education that enables students to achieve their academic, career, and personal goals, thereby allowing them to become valuable assets to their communities. Marco and Sandra Johnson grew up in Lancaster, California, a suburb of Los Angeles. They met in grade school and continued to Antelope Valley High School together, where he was a football player and she was on the dance team. Marco Johnson went on to University of Hawaii, where he became a star wide receiver and earned his bachelor's degree in political science and marketing, later earning his master's degree in education from Aspen University. Mr. Johnson was drafted into the NFL by the Houston Oilers before becoming a firefighter-paramedic for Los Angeles City Fire Department. Mrs. Johnson's passion for the arts led her to pursue a career as a formally trained dancer working professionally in the performing arts industry. She became a California State Certified Paralegal with degrees from Antelope Valley College and Watterson College. She went on to earn her bachelor's in business administration and a master's in curriculum development from Aspen University. The two got married and began their family life in a community they called home for so long, the Antelope Valley. But then a terrible tragedy caused them to change the direction of their life's path.
Well, it was Christmas Eve. It was a single mom, 3 children, living in an apartment in North Hollywood. The Christmas tree, it was about 2 a.m. The Christmas tree caught fire due to electrical wiring malfunctioning, we believe. We were able to gain access and rescue 2 of the children and the mother. But once we got outside the unit and spoke to the mom a little further, she informed us that there was another child inside.
What Marco found inside was a harrowing sight. A helpless child lay dead from respiratory failure. It was emotional for Marco because he and his wife Sandra had just experienced their 7th miscarriage.
And at that moment, I realized that I have to do something else. In addition to doing the firefighter-paramedic thing, there should be more that I can do to save more lives and better prepare the community and the citizens of various communities.
Refusing to allow her husband or herself to wallow in self-pity, Sandra, a paralegal, urged Marco to channel his anguish into a positive direction.
I finally said to him, stop complaining and do something about it. And so we started teaching CPR and first aid.
During my time as a firefighter-paramedic for the city of Los Angeles, I realized that a lot of lives could have been saved if CPR and first aid would have been initiated prior to our arrival. So Sandra and I felt this was an excellent opportunity not only to provide CPR and first aid to our community, but there was a larger calling.
First we started teaching our friends and family, and then we moved into our neighborhood and started teaching the proper techniques of CPR. And before we knew it, we realized there was a real market out there. There were people that truly had to be certified to keep their jobs. Nurses, teachers, bus drivers.
Once we decided to go the route of teaching CPR and first aid, we felt that it was important that we work with a reputable organization. Who better to work with than the American Heart Association? I found myself driving throughout Southern California to receive the proper approvals and accreditation and training so that we delivered a quality product to our community.
The CPR and First Aid Company was established in 1997 in a 400 square foot facility near 10th Street West and Avenue J in Lancaster.
Sandra would schedule appointments with places of business. I'd come home from the fire station between shifts and she'd kind of guide me in the right direction. It was pretty interesting. We didn't want to take out loans. We wanted to do this on our own. So it was difficult at times, and oftentimes we'd look at one another and say, what the heck have we gotten ourselves into? But again, we realized there was a higher calling, and what we were doing was for our community, and it wasn't really about us at that point.
I was on the phone all day and all night trying to get contracts, calling numerous companies, restaurants, daycare centers, until we finally reached our first contract, which was with Desert Haven. That was truly a day of celebration.
It was very important to have a brick and mortar. We felt that our clients and our community would be much more comfortable if they had a place where they can go knock on the door and speak to a live person if they had any questions.
We heard what they were saying, and they were really hoping to have another EMT program in our community. Junior college has a wonderful program, but at the time there was a 2-year waiting list, and we feel that there was a need that needed to be filled, and so we started teaching EMT.
As LA City firefighter paramedic, I felt comfortable designing our EMT curriculum. These were skills that I practice on a daily basis.
6 months after its inception, and with the approval of the Bureau for Private Post-Secondary Education and the Los Angeles County Emergency Medical Services Agency, the CPR and First Aid Company received approval to teach emergency medical technician courses. Less than a year later, the Johnsons found the demand for their courses to be so high they relocated to a nearby 1,500 square foot facility.
Because Sandra and I only wanted the best for our community, we felt who better to provide this training than current firefighters, paramedics, EMTs, and nurses. We strongly believe that that's why we got the support we did from our community, because we had these professionals providing the training.
Well, you know, the donations were truly a big help when we were first starting. The community really came together with us and donated a lot of their equipment that they no longer needed, such as the hospitals when they had no more use for specific equipment. It really helped us.
By this point, the institution was offering additional career programs and had a small yet dedicated staff. The growing need for higher education in the Antelope Valley pushed them to focus on the bigger picture.
Things were moving fast. We were adding new programs, we moved into a new facility, and we also realized at this time we had become a vocational school without even knowing it. So what that brought on was different levels of approvals and accreditations that we had to obtain.
We knew that there was no way we could afford a consultant. We did not have $100,000 to spend, nor would it have been guaranteed if we would have gone that route. So Marco and I sat down and tried to discuss what we were going to do, and then that's when we realized we are from this community. This is our home. We know what our community needs. So we took the challenge. We developed our own curriculum, and we were very excited to know that our school was ready to take that next step.
The Johnsons, at times being forced to miss mortgage payments, would sleep in their car while attending accreditation workshops because they couldn't afford hotel expenses. In 2000, the CPR and First Aid Company underwent a name change, becoming the Antelope Valley Medical College, and expanded into an even larger 6,000 square foot facility. And in 2003, the institution was granted authorization by the Accrediting Bureau of Health Education Schools.
As a nationally accredited vocational college, we were able to offer associate degrees, which at that time was a breakthrough for us.
In addition to teaching our newly approved degree programs, fire science and health and fitness, this was the first time we stepped outside of our allied health arena and began teaching culinary arts and paralegal studies.
We wanted to replicate the success of our previous programs into our new fields of study. We had industry-trained professionals and students eager to learn from them. Our energy and growth really blossomed during these years.
By 2008, Antelope Valley Medical College had grown in scale as well as reputation. Graduates of the institution were assisted by an in-house career services center and placed in jobs throughout the Antelope Valley. The institution continued its expansion to fill 60,000 square feet of the commercial center in which the campus was based, less than a mile away from the original building the Johnsons had begun teaching in only 11 years prior.
This is when we got requests to open other institutions in other areas, Los Angeles, even other states. And also we were getting requests to buy our institution. But Marco and I, that's not what we're about, and that's not what the vision is about. The vision is about having our university here.
Using the same optimism of the husband and wife team who transformed negative energy from the death of their only son to a positive when they set to establish Stanford University and dedicate it to him, the same vision USC founders had when they opened their doors with only 53 students and 10 faculty, and with the same community appreciation Georgetown University showed as it developed and integrated alongside its hometown. The Johnsons, too, saw the potential for educational progress. In June 2009, the school was granted institutional accreditation by the Accrediting Council for Independent Colleges and Schools, one of only 2 national accreditors recognized by both the U.S. Department of Education and the Council for Higher Education Accreditation. An approval that should have taken 2.5 years to complete was done in only 9 months, and the University of Antelope Valley was born.
We had no idea that instructing CPR and first aid courses would ever evolve into something of this magnitude.
To have our institution be examined inside and out from A to Z and to receive the accreditation in the time frame we did demonstrates that we were able to maintain the high standards of faculty qualification, student retention, and student placement. This demonstrates the devotion of our faculty and staff to maintain the true mission of the university.
The University of Antelope Valley expanded and relocated to a 250,000 square foot property, again not far from the founding location. A once hotel restaurant, it was completely remodeled to meet the needs of the growing school and currently serves as the institution's main campus. UAV unveiled its bachelor and master's level programs, began offering night and online courses, and continued on a path of establishing classes that met the local job market needs.
We work closely with all of our students in completing resumes and conducting mock interviews. We try to prepare them in every way that we can, letting them know that we are here with every concern that they may have. The economy hasn't been the greatest, but we've still maintained our 74% placement rate, which is above our accrediting standard, and we couldn't be more proud.
This is an area of Lancaster that's been overlooked because of a bad reputation. But this is truly the heart of Lancaster. The tracks remind us of the history of our town, and this is where we wanted to make home.
UAV officials asked the community to submit names to determine the school's mascot. Of the hundreds of submissions, UAV chose the Pioneers, representing the original pioneers who had thought they found an oasis in the Antelope Valley Desert. The pioneering spirit and efforts of the founders and staff of the university, the connection of the Antelope Valley to the pioneers of space exploration and flight, and the students as pioneers in the quest for better futures.
Athletics has played a huge role in my life, both at the high school level and college level. That's why I felt passionate about bringing athletic programs to our institution.
Women's softball was UAV's first sport. Head coach Sarah Adams led the team to victory as the Southern Pacific Conference champions and second place in the NCSA World Series in the first year of competition. Next came baseball, and they too won the Southern Pacific Conference in their first year. Using local facilities as their main fields, the Pioneers face opponents from colleges such as UCLA, USC, Cal Poly, and UC Merced. In November 2011, UAV and performance athletic gear manufacturer Under Armour entered into an official partnership. UAV is the only nationally accredited institution sponsored by Under Armour.
In the end, we want our graduates to become lifelong students and teachers while instilling in them the importance of community engagement.
The university is about producing productive citizens for our community. And it's also about helping these productive students to be proud of who they are, to have a reason to be here, to be an example for their families, for their children, to be proud to wake up every morning and make a difference. And that's what we're about. That's what this university is about, and that's what this city is about.
Sure, there are other universities that have a 100-year head start on us, but we're young, we're innovative, this is our time, and we're just getting started.